Great to be here, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Matt, let's start out with this. Everyone improves their game from year to year when they make the kind of progress you do. What were some elements that you worked on in the offseason that paid dividends for you this past season?
For me, I'd say I hit the weight room really hard in the offseason. That was big for me. That's something that I think everybody can always improve on. I didn't change too much in terms of, my mechanics in terms of hitting or even my approach, really. I think it just came down to, going into the season, just the level of confidence that I had, knowing that I've been there and done it for a year now, and I came off a great summer. So I would just say, I hit the weight room pretty hard, and then just confidence and mindset.
Yeah. Somebody asked me about, what it was like to watch you play, and I said, what impresses me about Matt Wood as a hitter is you can see the repeatable swing. Who really has worked with you, and even at the youngest age, to get that kind of swing?
Oh man, there's a lot. Just going back, to when I first started playing the game, my dad and my two best friends, their dads, Troy Lee and Josh Johnson, they're just working with them, like growing up. They kind of taught me the fundamentals. And then when I got to high school, my biggest influence was probably my travel ball coach. His name's Ryan Flanagan, out here in Pittsburgh. And I just worked with him every day, and he kind of turned me into the hitter that I am today. I can always go back to him, even now in this off season, I still go back and hit with him. And, he kind of taught me pretty much everything I know, I'd say. And then when I go into school, to have the assistant coaches and the head coaches that we have, Coach Coop, Coach Moore, Coach Burke, they give me a lot of confidence. They help, and at all hours of the day, whenever I need them, one of the best coaching staffs in America, and they're always there to help. But there's a lot of people that I can thank for that, for sure.
You're always working at your craft, which means becoming a better catcher. What have been a couple of elements that you have worked on as a catcher, as a receiver, calling a game, for example, that have made you better this year?
Yeah, I think taking the step into calling a game this year was big for me. Working with Coach Newman for calling pitches, we had a great relationship. Watching video together, scouting reports. We were with each other a lot, and him being a guy who, did it, in the major leagues, to be able to have that kind of resource while in college is something that, not many people can say. So being able to, go over a lineup or do things, watch video with him, that was pretty special. And that was a big jump that I made. I'm always working on, the receiving and the blocking, and I had a big focus on trying to improve my arm this year. I feel like I've always had quick feet and a good transfer, but, get it down there a little bit quicker. I took a lot of pride in my arm care and strengthening my arm this year, and it's something that I'm going to continue to do. But those are some of the elements. I'd say just more of, the little things that you do as a catcher. Some of the things that go unnoticed. I worked on those a lot, and my coaches, especially Coach Newman, helped me a ton with that this offseason and going into the year.
So let me take this, Matt, one step further. You're, in calling pitches, preparing pitchers, did that help your mindset at the plate so you're now thinking the way the other team's thinking?
Yeah, it definitely helps. It just kind of gives you a little bit of an edge, kind of thinking inside the mind of a opposing coach or catcher or pitcher, knowing what they want to do against me. That's something that can definitely help. But I try to separate the two as much as possible. I don't want to be, when I'm on defense, that's my focus. On offense, that's my thing. It might just be a subconscious thing, but,
right.
It's definitely something that helps.
All right. When you get the opportunity to be drafted, whomever does select you along the way, you're not always going to be in the spot that you thought you were going to be in. You might have to move around, play positions. What kind of versatility can you bring to the game should somebody draft you?
Yeah, that's something that I'm always looking to improve. I don't think, you can be too athletic, especially, and I think that helps at my position as well. But, once you get to that level, every team's different. Their needs are different. So being versatile is huge. And, as you continue to grow, having a good bat always takes you far, but, you got to play a position too. So if I need to move, if that's something that the organization, that's something that they need, I'm definitely able to do that. But, catching is my pride. I've been doing it for a long time. I love catching.
Yeah.
I'd love to stick, with doing that, but I'm always open to do anything.
What are your summer plans right now, leading up to the draft, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, right now I'm just at home training.
Good for you.
Being able to, get off my feet a little bit, not playing summer ball this summer. I'm just, hitting the weight room, getting some BP, doing all that training is what I'm doing in preparation.
Right. All right. So let's talk about this past season for Penn State. Something that, and I talked to Scott Sidwell about this, and he said, we both agreed, in watching Penn State play this year, you guys seem to just have fun playing. What was it about that clubhouse that on a day in and day out basis made you anxious to get to the ballpark?
Yeah, it's just, this team was so special. It was one of probably the best I've ever been on in terms of that. The amount of fun that we had, the respect that we had for each other, and how much we enjoyed just every moment with one another. I think that's what led to our success. That's why you can never count us out of games, because we had that culture. I think nowadays people say, use culture as kind of a vague term, and they just kind of say it to say it. But to build a culture like we had, other people have to see it. And you bringing that up is proof that we had one. When people watched us play, they knew our identity. They knew what kind of team we were. And I feel like that's what any team should strive to do. And just because we didn't have, the huge season, the breakthrough season, we still finished under 500, and it's something that we're, as a team going to keep improving upon. But the step that we took this year, I don't think, nobody's going to take that for granted, because we know what we can do now, and we just had fun doing it.
Well, and there's another element to it. Yeah, you didn't finish over 500, but it's the first time that the program has reached the Big Ten tournament since 2012. First time they've won a Big Ten tournament game since 2008. Is there at least in steps of accomplishment that have set the program in the right direction?
Yeah, 100%. Because we know what we have to do now. I feel like going into this past season, we kind of didn't really know our identity, and we didn't know what pieces we had to kind of fill. And going into this next fall, that's exactly like, we know everything that we need to do now. We know the pieces that we have. We know what we have returning. Now it's just building on that. And when we already have kind of who we are as a team locked down, that just makes everything, keep going smoothly. So I think going into next year, yeah, we're going to lose some pieces for sure, but what we have coming back, they know what they need to do. They're going to teach the younger guys, and we're just going to keep moving forward.
There's another element. Al Michaels was interviewed by Peter King, and they asked him about, his longevity in the profession. He said he did the World Series in 1972 when he was the Reds announcer with a guy named Kurt Gowdy. And Kurt Gowdy was the old sage at the time, and Al Michaels was the young guy. And he said, hey, look, he says, no matter what happens, don't get jaded, okay? Which can happen over a long period of time with anybody. What is it about the game that makes you so passionate and work so hard on a day in and day out basis?
It's just, this game is so special just because every game is so different. You can see something new every day. You can experience something new every day. And when it's a game of failure like it is,
yeah,
it almost forces you to be just mentally focused more than any other thing I've experienced. And it's almost a challenge to be able to get yourself to a place mentally where you understand that it's a process-driven game. It's not a results-driven game. Because the second that you start chasing results is the moment that you're going to fall, flat off the face of the earth. Because this just isn't a game where you chase results. Results come. And over time, that's something that I was taught early on, and I'm very grateful for, because I didn't expect, the freshman All-American. I didn't expect the Big Ten Player of the Year my sophomore year. I just wanted to keep going and keep getting better, because I knew that eventually I'd pop if I did. And that was kind of the case this year. And there's always more to come in baseball as well.
absolute pleasure, talking with you, but even more so watching you play, because you are a fabulous player to watch. And I wish you nothing but the best with this moving forward, because baseball is a great game, and it's always a lot of fun for us to watch guys that play it at the level you do and with the passion you do. Matt, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it.